Good to see your work.
You know, I like that thing you guys got there. When injustice becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. It's just the same idea as what I've said several times, which is that wiser people than me have said that if laws are wrong and harming people, it becomes the duty of a citizen to break those laws.
So what was that new group you were talking about? What was
Raising a Stink. It's a
Raising a Stink.
A secret group on
that's
Facebook
right.
that's going to get a lot of attention.
Oh, well, so you wouldn't want me to put this up on the net or anything?
I don't care. Put it up on the net.
Bravo. So it's a secret group that's up on the net. I love it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
on Facebook called Raising a Stink.
That's right.
And I think that the logo is a picture of an old grumpy raisin puffing on a great big doobie in a smoking section somewhere. And I'm saying we should be able to smoke in non-smoking sections too, because the laws that resulted in there being smoking bans and smoking sections had a lot to do and was only allowed to become reality because of the actual harms you could prove that commercial tobacco was doing. So cannabis has none of that. They would never be able to prove that any secondhand cannabis smoke was ever harming anybody. So we shouldn't be subject to those particular fines for smoking outside of those areas or anything like that. But the Raising a Stink group, we're going to be videotaping episodes of licensed MMAR people for the most part, because we're not trying to get people giving up their life and sacrificing too much, although some are willing to do that, and I know I have and many others as well in the past of going and smoking, right in the faces of the authorities to try to get their attention and speak truth to power. But especially if you've got that MMAR exemption, then it's about time we really started showing the public that people are allowed to medicate, and it's nothing that's wrong or should be demonized in any way, shape, or form, that smoking is a natural product, or smoking herbs is a natural practice that goes back thousands of years as a very safe way of ingesting medicine. And many people are dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, and other way more serious illnesses with chronic pain and MS and AIDS. So many different things that cannabis is really effective for. It's a really smart medicine as opposed to the pharmaceuticals, which are actually really stupid medicines because they have built-in side effects on purpose so that people think that they're powerful and that they work. Whereas really what they are is synthetic poisons for the most part that may have some beneficial effects, but that for the most part are causing a lot of harm in our society, are killing a lot of people. These pharmaceutical drugs that are touted as miracle drugs, and that your most trusted person in the world will give you this fellow dressed in white who's been so well trained in post-secondary education as to know everything about how to fix you, and it's all about fixing you with pills that don't do you any good. So to use the herb in public as a way to just get through your day is something that should not be demonized. It should be respected, and people should be allowed or respected for what they do as long as they're not bothering other people. And that's the purpose of Raising a Stink, is we're going to go and smoke cannabis in ways that are provocative, not rude or bothering people. Well, bothering maybe in some ways, but not in any substantial or significant way. Because if you significantly harm other people, that's not
end of the game.
That's a crime.
End of the game, right?
So we're not going to intentionally harm anybody, nor will we. But we are going to be provocative. Maybe we'll smoke our reefer in smoking sections in the nude, or something like that.
Well, don't you take it a bit far?
I don't know how far we're going to take it. It's up to the individual people.
Well, be careful now.
The answer is just don't be rude, don't harm anybody.
Yes.
But let's be noticed, and let's stop just cowering in the shadows.
Well said.
In the closets.
Well
so
said.
Passive, and it's time, because enough already.
Right.
Right now in Canada, there's dozens of people in handcuffs because they were caught smoking a herb.
I know. Hey, listen, Neil. Let me tell you something about that, about which you're getting so impassioned, and rightly so. And I've got that here. And can I put this up on my channel?
Of course.
Okay, thank you. All right, you're brave and
already,
thank you, Neil. But let me just say something. This will be sort of a voiceover, and that is that I personally been rather chronic because I grow my own. Because I've always believed we should be able to, simply grow our own a priori as the original gift from the Creator. And then I think after that, what we are trying to address here is a reasoned that approach to the end of this prohibition, and to do that in a way which is provocative but not violent in any way, and that all the people that I know are essentially people who, love peace and love harmony, and many of them I know have given up alcohol because it was getting in the way of living happy and healthy lives, and simply by turning to marijuana, it was almost instantaneous cure, especially for people who've never done it before. So, Neil...
It was one thing to end the prohibition on alcohol and bring the sales under the auspices of the government, who started making all that money and had motive to encourage people to continue drinking more and more. It's another level of dishonesty and wrongness to then prohibit what would be a safe alternative to people that are having problems with that same alcohol that now the government is selling. So for the government to sell drugs, for one thing, to sell alcohol, for one thing, is really questionable. It taints their motives. It makes them corrupt, for sure, if you're selling a product like that. And then to take that to another level and be so corrupt as to then prohibit what would be a safer and saner alternative to alcohol for those people that have problems with alcohol, well, that's another level of criminality all in itself. So our government, the biggest drug dealer in the world, overlooking the sale of pharmaceutical drugs, alcohol, and tobacco, is running a protection racket for their particular industries and monopolies by using our tax dollars to pay policemen and court people and cage people to prevent people from using what would be a natural, cheap, safe alternative to the drugs that they are so invested in. So there's a big crime going on here. We're being oppressed by a big, huge drug dealing organization, and that is the Canadian government.